Bonjour, bienvenue au Collège de France. This meeting will be in English, as you've seen on the program, so I'm absolutely delighted to host you here at the Collège de France on the occasion of this Microbiota Colloquium. The title, as you've seen, in case you think you are attending another meeting, is the Commensal Microbiota from Homeostasis to Disease. And it's certainly a timely topic, and my co-organizer and friend, Brent Finlay, will say you a few words about this. As you may know or may not know, the Collège de France is a very special place. It's been created in 1530, 16th century, by François Ier, François I, who was king of France at the time. And the idea was to create a place for teaching and education which would deliver an unbiased teaching. The king was not happy with the fact that our dear neighbor, the Sorbonne, was too much influenced by the Catholic Church. So they wanted something that, again, would be unbiased, but also something that would be really at the edge of the discipline. The first chair was a chair of Hebrew, and the second one was a chair of Greek. And okay, it has gone that way over the years, and I'm having this chair of microbiology and infectious disease here, which is also aimed at teaching the discipline, not so much what is, sort of classical knowledge, but more the science as it is going. So the motto of the Collège de France, which you might think is very ambitious, is Dos et Omnia, which means teaching everything, which is an ambitious program, if you like. So the title again is the microbiota, well, in French, le microbiote commensal de l'homéostasie à la Maladies. It's getting a little bit schizophrenic between French and English. And there is a sort of natural history behind this meeting. The beginning was based on the fact that the Collège de France and the Peter Wall Institute for Advanced Science are having a sort of joint venture, which was actually the impetus was given by two persons. One is Dianna Newell, who is here on the front row, and she will say a few words. And the other one were essentially people here from the Collège de France, especially Alain Berthoz. And part of this initiative is to exchange professors. And this month we have Professor Brent Finlay, who is a Peter Wall professor at University of British Columbia. And part of this exchange is the organization of a colloque. And this is the colloque that we had the pleasure to organize together with Brett. And then there was another sort of twist or fold in this story that we have in Europe a network which is called Tornado, which is coordinated by Sven Peterson from the Karolinska Institute. And I'm actually happy to be part of this network, which is called the Healthy Gut, and with all the microbiological dimension that is associated to it. And we thought that it would be very nice to sort of co-organize something which would involve scientists from North America, Canada, and scientists from Europe here, sort of midway in between on this topic. So that's how it came, and we were actually lucky that the three institutions, the Peter Wall Institute funded this program very generously. Tornado also funded this program, and thank you, Sven and Joseph, for your help in this. And the Collège de France, through the Fondation Hugo, also provided very significant sponsorship. And this allowed us to invite among the best speakers, I would say, in the world in this discipline. Unfortunately, we've had some last-minute changes, or I would say defection. Ariane Narbad, Fergus Shannon, Ollie Simmel will not be able to make it to Paris, and I learned this last Friday, and I apologize for this and for them. Fortunately, Olissimal, or at least the slot that was left open by Olissimal, will be filled, and Duško Erlich here at INRA in France was kind enough at the very last moment. I called him on Saturday morning to accept to come and give us sort of highlights, overview of what has been going on in the famous Meta-HIT program. So you will have sort of something on the edge again about the microbiota. So having said this, I would like to thank all the speakers for accepting enthusiastically, I must say, to come here and share their knowledge about everything that has to do, everything you want to know about the microbiota that you never dared to ask. I have particular thanks to one person, Colette Jacquemin, who has been, voilà, thank you for standing, Colette, who has been behind every moment, every steps of the construction and organization of this meeting, and she's still here, and if you have anything to ask Colette. She's much more competent than me. Especially for the speakers, if you could please return the contracts for the recording of your talk. Please do it, and do it to Colette. She will be around during the meeting. So my last point is about the place. I would like to wish you a very nice stay in Paris. The program is very dense, so I think the only time that's left to you is probably sometimes around midnight along the Seine. I saw the movie yesterday, and please, feel free to walk along the Seine. It's a nice place, and you can even sometimes make interesting encounters. Have no idea about how the encounter will end up for you, but at least this is Paris in May, and this is by far the best period to be here. So thank you very much again for being here. I hope you enjoyed this program. And I would like to introduce Dianna Newell, who is the current director of the Peter Wall Institute, to say a few words, and then Brett will take over.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to say opening remarks. A welcome from the Peter Wall Institute and its colloquia abroad. This event, as Philippe said, is possible because of the partnership that was established between the Peter Wall Institute and the Collège de France 2.5 years ago. The partnership involves faculty exchanges, and in the 2.5 years, we now will have had 6 faculty exchange between UBC and the Collège de France, and right now, my colleague Brett Finlay is here, and Philippe will be coming to UBC next month. The Peter Wall Institute was funded 20 years ago, but has really been active for about 12 years. It funds research in any area. It promotes collaborative research, basic research, and advanced research. I know this is a very important meeting. I know the topic is very promising. We had a speaker 2 weeks ago at the Peter Wall, J. Craig Venter, the sequencer of the human genome, who said this is one of the most promising areas of science right now. And this is, of course, such an inspiring and grand room that I know there will be great thoughts and great connections made as a result of this meeting. And I wish you all the best in your deliberations. Thank you.
Merci, Philippe. Thank you, Diane. So, good morning. Now we move to the science aspects of this meeting, and when Philippe and I were putting this together, as you know, the microbiota is a real up-and-coming area. There's a lot of interest in this area. And what we tried to do was structure a meeting that has definite people working on microbiota, but several of you actually don't work directly on microbiota, but in related areas. And many of you said, well, what do I talk about at a microbiota meeting? And that was intentional because, microbiota really is impacting many, many areas that people are just getting into. So some of you kind of on the periphery, and hopefully you will learn stuff about the microbiota, and also we can learn from your areas how the microbiota might be interfacing with that. So the meeting is sort of set up where we initially were sort of starting what is the human microbiota, how does it work, how does it change over time, what are the variations, and that's mainly this morning's session that I will chair. After lunch, then we start to move into the host microbiota type interface, and Philippe came up with some great titles here: Exerting Defiance, Fighting Ignorance, and Learning Tolerance. I think maybe even better en français peut-être, the 3 pillars of homeostasis. And so we have some, so that's where we're getting to the host microbe interface quite a bit. And then tomorrow morning, first thing, we'll hear more about the tornado network, which Philippe has already mentioned. And then we sort of continue on with the theme of sort of host microbe interactions, including a lot of immunology coming in there. And then the last session is kind of sort of put together where people from different areas that microbiota is impacting, and we're all starting to hear about these stories of microbiota impacting many things that we previously didn't quite realize they were playing a role in, and we do that. So we think we should have a very varied program over the next 2 days, and in a lovely space. And so we'll now move to the program. As you've heard, the first speaker has canceled, so that leaves Alan Walker a little more time, maybe. But I'm chairing it, so I'm going to unplug you if you go too long. But also, hopefully, that'll give us a bit of time for discussion as we get on, because it's a little more flexible in that sense. So with that, I'd like to introduce Alan Walker. He's from Harvard Medical School, and his title is Initial Bacterial Colonization in the Development of Mucosal Host Defenses. Alan.